All right, what's up, everybody? All right, check it out. I done the job because, man, it is hard to hold up a camera while doing it. Some guys do it, man, but it's hard for me. I'm sorry. All right, this is a starter on my 2007 Detroit 60 Series, 14 liter with the EGR, man. All right, this is the one that came off of it. Let me tell you what was going on with it. It was popping, kind of like you have a loose terminal or something, or a bad connection. When you hit the starter, boom, it, brrr, you know how it goes. All right, on the final start, when it started, my truck fired up, and then I kept hearing a ringing, so this was still engaged. This is in good shape, good and tight, spring, everything's good. I think my solenoid went out, man. I got a Amazon starter. First, let me tell you how this thing goes. There's 3 bolts right here, okay? 1, 2, 3. To get to this back one right here, you're gonna need extension. A long one that goes up in here. Whoopsie, right there, all the way out side of your motor. I think mine, there's a metal fuel line, and the ratchet I used a 3/4 ratchet from Harbor Freight with a 3/4 to 1/2 inch reducer. That's how I done it, man. And I took a bar from the end of my floor jack for that leverage, if you know what I'm saying. All right, anyway, my solenoid went out. Yeah, your bolts, I was saying, I think they're 9-point, I forgot what size, damn, my bad, but they are 9-point bolts. Keep that in mind, only 3. They are tight as a mother. When you're changing your starter, guys, this is your negative terminal. This is your positive. All right, the main line on my truck anyway, I'm pretty sure it's the same for you guys. The main line coming from my batteries. First, before you do this job, go back and unhook your batteries. Don't even attempt this without unhooking all the batteries, positive and negatives. Just do it anyway. Some people only do the positives. Just do it, all of them. This is your positive terminal. On my main line that's coming in, there's a bracket, and it goes over this. Attached to that bracket is another stud. And that's where actually all your positive terminals gonna go. Your positive terminals that comes from the harness and all that stuff, and the alternator and all that jazz. It goes on the stud that's connected to that metal bracket from your positive. So when I first looked in there, I said, damn, there's a bunch of wires on the starter. But actually, all them wires that's bundled up ain't actually on the starter peg right here. It's actually on the little peg that comes off from the bracket that's connected to this, if that makes any sense. So again, from the main line coming in, the main red line coming in, there's a bracket. It goes right over this, boom, and on that bracket that sticks out here is a peg just like this. It's a threaded peg just like that. And all your positives go on that, and the nut goes on that, and button that down. All right, from the wiring harness comes in is a small wire here. Put it on that. The way I done it, man, it's tight in there. So when I took all these off, I took a zip tie and just run. See how you take this off? Put a zip tie through that. Took the next one off, zip tie, and then put a zip tie, run it through, and tighten them down. Same thing up here, because there's a bunch of wires that go on them, man. A bunch of wires that go on them. So I zip tied them so I wouldn't lose one. So as the one come off, I just gently run my zip tie, thread it through the next one, When I got them all off, I pull the zip tie tight, push to the side. There's an electronic plug that goes down here, okay? All right, now the starter I was telling you about, the Amazon starter I got. Some people say you have to take this off, and then you see how these 2 bolts are. See, it comes from here. There's one down here too. All right, there. Take these off, and you can remount this thing up here. The one I got came perfect. There was one difference. I didn't have to do anything to it, but let me tell you the difference. You see, let me see if I can turn this around and show you. I'll put a link in the description of the starter that I bought. I think it's about $200 or $220, something like that. All right, you see how this thing is rounded? I'm trying to get this to stay without rolling. Okay, there we go. You see how this is rounded, you know, between each one, okay? I'm gonna flip it back around. Now imagine this as being just like this. Imagine this is the flywheel and your starter's already bolted in, bam. This part right here on the new starter was not rounded off. It was straight like this. See how that's rounded? It's kind of loop. Get right here. See how it's rounded like an oval? The one I got from Amazon was cut like this, like straight across like that. So when he mounted up, the other ones were rounded. So when it mounted up, you're gonna see an outline of where this was. You're gonna see it exposed because the one I bought has been machined off like that. Don't let that scare you, it still works, okay? All right, so that's the deal, that's how you do it. Unbolt your batteries, take your positives off. You take the positives off and put them on a zip tie, and then you take this off, right? This other nut, and then it pulls off the whole bracket from the main line, pull it to the side. One small wire right here, I forgot, I think that's a, damn, 8mm, it's very small, I forgot, but Phillips screwdriver, man, you lucky if you turn it with a screwdriver. Take that off, that's one wire, that'd be one wire right there. Your positives that's on this stud, pull them off, and then pull your whole bracket off the main, and then your negatives. Pull that off. 3 bolts right here, boom, boom, boom. And the starter, the way I took it out from the top. Some guys say you can do it from the bottom. I don't know. It might could. You probably can. It might be the way to do it, but I done it from the top. I'll come out with it like this, right towards me. The thing to note, I guess, I guess because it was seized in there, when I took my 3 bolts out, the starter didn't fall out on its own. It stayed in there. I reached my hand in there, shimmied around a couple times. Boom, she came out. The new one, when I put it back in there, it will not stay in the hole by itself. So you need to probably start this one here, of course, easiest one to get to. And the back one is probably gonna be a bitch. It was for me. I finally got it started, and you know, one guy told me he just left it out, man, to hell with it, but I can't do that. I cannot do that. My heart won't let me do it. But anyway, that's the deal, man. I'll put a link in the description from Amazon. I bought the starter. The one that came off it is a Delco Remy 8200 289 39MT. All right. So there it is. That's what came off of it. I put a Amazon back on it, and it spins it over. Boom. I mean, one revolution, she busts right off, no problem. All right, man, that's the story of the starter. Sorry I didn't film it while I was doing it, but it's not that hard, man. Just keep in mind, you can do this. It's not hard. This sucker's got a little weight to it, so be aware of that, okay? All right, man. If I can do it, you can do it. Believe that. Peace.